Good morning. It's 7 a.m. and we're going to start the operational briefing. This is the operational briefing for the LNU Lightning Complex for September 8th, 0700 to September 9th, 0700. My name is Jeff Wyndham, Plan Section Chief, Incident Management Team 2. I'd like to remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones, radios, and take any side conversations out of the building. Also, please ensure you're wearing your mask and social distancing. This briefing is being broadcast on CDF TAC 27 as well as YouTube. You can get to the YouTube channel by following the link on the cover of your IAP. We'll go ahead and start with a situational update with Night Operations Landing Hat.
Good morning. Well, we've been talking about warming and drying, and that proved itself last night. So in Foxtrot Delta, in this piece over here, late yesterday afternoon into the evening, there were a couple of areas that came to life, some flare-ups out there, still within the dozer line, and they've gone, put another indirect line around those and corralled those. That's going to be a priority. Over in Lima last night, in off of Sweetwater Springs, they have a spot come out with the wind push. It went to about 20 acres. It was picked up by unit response in conjunction with the resources who were out on the line. They got that corral, it's contained. That did provoke an evacuation order north of Sweetwater Springs and a warning to the south that remains in effect for now. Over on the east zone, still focusing in Tango. Mop-up activity going on there. Uniform completed the contingency line across the pocket here. Yesterday afternoon in Victor, or it was actually Whiskey, there was a little flare-up over there, all within the fire perimeter, and that was handled. Still dealing with calls for service for the community in the southern end of the Hennessy. And with the weather, we'll probably see that continue today.
For our management objectives, we're going to provide for emergency personnel and public safety at all times, ensure COVID-19 precautions and best practices are met at all times, protect property improvement and infrastructure, ensure coordinated, timely, and accurate release of public information, foster and maintain relationships with all cooperators and stakeholders, protect economic, natural, cultural, and heritage resources, and maintain fiscal accountability and keep costs commensurate with the values of risk. For our control objectives on Branch 10, we're going to keep the fire north of the Russian River, south of Kelly Road, east of King Ridge Road, and west of Dry Creek Road. Branch 20, 25, 30, and 40, we're going to keep the fire north of Highway 12, south of Highway 20, east of Highway 29, and west of Highway 16 and Sand Creek Road. Now with incident weather, incident meteorologist Scott Carpenter.
Good morning. We have a red flag warning in effect for today. It went into effect last night, goes right on through tonight. So that's for strong winds and very low humidities. We have already seen above about 2,000 feet around 2 o'clock this morning. We saw the shift of the winds to the northeast across the Hennessy, and we're seeing gusts into the lower 40 mile per hour range, around 2,000 feet and above, and up at the highest peaks, we're seeing gusts up almost to 60 miles per hour. The peak in those winds today will be this morning, and that's when we'll see that potential for 45 to 60 mile an hour gusts. The highest gusts will just be on those highest peaks. Over on the Wall Bridge, we have not seen much of that northeast push yet, but it's still coming, and it'll be at a lower speed. We'll see gusts up to 35 to 40 miles per hour on the higher end there, and that'll continue through the day. As we get into this afternoon and into tonight, expect those wind gusts to come down a little bit. We'll still see gusts to around 35 miles per hour through the late afternoon and into the overnight. So again, the peak is going to be this morning in those wind gusts. Overnight temperatures stayed in the upper 70s and 80s across many of the areas on the fire, and the humidity stayed down below 20%, right up to around 20% at a lot of locations. That's going to lead with this wind coming through. Today's going to be even drier. We'll have single-digit humidities in many locations to combine with strong winds, and again, that's the red flag warning that we have out throughout the day. Have a good day.
Fire behavior analyst, Robert Clark.
All right, let's take it back a little bit. Let's go back to the basics. Let's cover our fuels, weather, and topography. Our fuels are critically dry. Our fuels this week have risen above the 97th percentile for their energy release components. That means that's the amount of available fuel to burn in heat per unit area. With that said, this is higher, only 3% of any time on record for their time has been higher than this spot. We're almost near to the point where we're going to set records for our record dryness, for the energy release components. So fine dead fuels are going to be extremely dry, single digit relative humidity. Our weather, our winds. The wind is going to be the critical driving factor of any fire activity today. Keep in mind, if you are downwind and you have wind in your face, the fire is going to be coming towards you should it become active. Keep that in mind. Spotting potential with those peak wind gusts of 65 miles an hour is over 3 miles away, right? That's set the stage of where you're at while you're out there. Highly receptive fuels, a lot of spotting potential, rates of spread that are in your IAP on page 5 are kind of middle of the road on the rates of spread. So keep that in mind. There is a chance, should fire occur in terrain or wind-driven areas, that could exceed the values written in the IAP. Brief it with your crews. With the weather also, strong winds affecting the fire area. We have a lot of fire-weakened trees out within the fire perimeter. Keep that in mind when you're out there. Strong gusts can topple a lot of these winds or snags high up in the canopy. Our topography. A lot of these drainages are aligned with that north-south area, so it will funnel those higher northeast winds down through those terrain and gaps. Keep that in mind. Watch where yourself. Have a safe day. Have an escape route, and have a secondary plan. Thank you.
Day operations, Chris Waters, and resource unit leader Dan Brown with roll call and work assignments.
Good morning. All Branch 10 resources roll call will occur at Sonoma Fairgrounds after this briefing. Starting with Suppression Repair Branch, Jason Butcher. Here. Suppression East, Peter Lusinger. Here. Branch 20, Carl Schwetman.
Here.
Sierra Tango Tango, Chris Beatty.
Here.
James Flynn.
Here.
Union, all resources report to the branch. Branch 25, Jason Marsh.
Here.
All resources report to that branch. Branch 3040, Mark Leake.
Here.
All resources report to that branch.
Okay, good morning, everybody. We've all heard the F-band, the INET. We're going to have to be on our toes today. This is the big test. Talk about Wallbridge. Wallbridge, okay, I've been talking about tough country, very steep. This redwood isn't like hanging around in the mixed conifer for the Sierra Nevadas. This is a serious deal. The fuels down here are different. They hold over, they stay submerged in the soil, and they cook. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out. Places where we think are out are going to wake back up again occasionally. And that's what got us yesterday down here in Lima. Lima has been a pain in the rear end on this fire. We want to make sure we're watching what's going on in Lima all day today. They've got another little slop over there they got lying around. I'm going to guarantee you there's some more heat out there. Get up in Foxtrot and Delta. We had another little problem out there today too. Easily contained. It was within containment lines. But again, steep terrain, very difficult to access. Folks are going to have to really be monitoring those lines and making sure that any smokes be taken very seriously out there with the wind conditions we're going to face. Calls for service in the Hennessy, we have to take them very serious. You saw that, you heard the spotting distance. We know the potential, and that we need to be ready to pick up any additional activity that we get on the edge of this fire. And again, remember, the last place we saw the most heat on this fire is in the Tango area. Also, fire suppression repair, we've loaded all the dozers on transports. Make sure you make a mental note of where those resources are positioned on your divisions and that you have access to them. That's going to include the water tenders as well, or whatever you need from their host of resources will be available to you on the line. Please coordinate with those folks, and then if anything happens that we need to support from the base here, get on the horn to operations, and we'll try to support you. The local unit as well is going to provide support, so we should be in good shape. But today's a big test. We get through today, we might be okay. So have a good shift.
Air Operations Branch Director, Nick.
Okay, good morning. So the incident's still being supported by 2 Type 1 helicopters. They're located on the east zone at 7M. The Type 2 is out of H3, which is on the west end. All those 3 ships are bucketed, and then you have Helco that's out of 7M as well. Helco is currently up right now, reconning both fires, and we earlied up all the rotary wing at 0700. Local unit is also earlied up all the fixed wing at 0800 out of Sonoma. What I'm going to ask is don't rely on aircraft today for your plan. You never should. With that being said as well, all the incidents are drawing all of our aviation assets. So if you're getting an order and you think you need fixed wing, order it early and hopefully you guys get it. Additionally, if you guys are going to be ordering any helicopters, any fixed wing, and you got Helco or the Air Attack, or even just the helicopter pilot asking you if the line is clear, you have to advise them, yes, the line is clear. Otherwise, they're not going to drop, and that's a safety issue. So I got to make that very clear. Again, if they ask you if the line is clear, and the line is clear, you need to let them know. Otherwise, they will not drop. Thank you. End of the report.
Medical Unit Leader, Josh Clark.
Morning. Please look at your 206 on page 27. We do have some changes. As a reminder from yesterday, we did have CalMat be demoed, so anybody here in Calistoga, MERT will be your place where you're going to get any crew treatment. There's still CalMat down at Calistoga. Ambulances are still strategically placed throughout the incident for any of your needs. Resources as far as hospitals remain the same. Make sure to review your 9-line and I have cards if you need them. And then also remember that health is what you make it. Thank you.
Communications Unit Leader, John McCormick.
Good morning. No change in the comm plan. If you need to review it for the divisions or branches you're working in, you can find that on 28, 29, and 30. Just remember to continue monitoring your air to ground. Your west air to ground is CDF TAC 24. Your east is CDF TAC 25. With that, have a safe shift.
Safety Officer Ryan Danielson.
Good morning. If you haven't gathered yet, today is a very critical day. Our last day of winds, high temps, low RH. Of course, it's going to continue to be hot and dry, but today, more so than ever, is a day to be heads up. Please review the basics. Please brief your crews. Please have a plan. Excellent job with your driving and communication of safety concerns throughout the holiday weekend. We had an excellent track record. As far as yesterday, no heat-related concerns arose. Keep that up. Make sure your crews are hydrating. When you have a plan for these new starts, please take a moment to review the WUI environment. In these winds, we could end up anywhere in a structure protection environment. Thank you and have a good day.
Logistics Section Chief Milford Ferguson.
Morning, Bill Ferguson, Team 2 Logistics. So with the change in plans and winds and weather and whatnot, we're going to keep all services open for definitely another day, and we'll have an update tomorrow with our plan for base camp here. So just pay attention to any word through your branches of if you're at the different reporting location for tomorrow and the following days. But we'll have a different update for you tomorrow. And again, any orders that need to come out today, please get those in early so supply can support you on the line today. Thank you.
For training, please continue to get your training paperwork into the training technical specialist. Finance shift tickets or critical to get in so that the demo process moves smoothly. For demo, if you are on the demo plan, please go to your IAP, scan the QR code for the appropriate camp that you're at, and follow those instructions. For information, if there are any questions about this briefing, you can call 707-967-4207. The overall containment for the incident is 91%, and the total acreage has not changed. And with that, our incident commander, Sean Kavanaugh.
Okay, well, good morning. So let's just get down to this. We've been at this for over 3 weeks, okay? Every day is critical, but today is extremely critical. I asked everybody to have a heightened sense of awareness today on the fire line. So the weather, the wind, just everybody pay attention to what's going on. And everybody that's out there on these lines that we've been working for over 3 weeks, as Chief Water was saying, you know, there's stuff that's still burning out there deep in the ground, especially on the wall bridge. And we need to be very particular about how we're going about our business today. If there's new starts, anything that takes place, the divisions, the branches that are out there, have a good plan, make sure everybody's getting a good briefing today. And then throughout the day, I ask everybody to take a pause as the winds pick up and move. So with that though, I want everybody to have a good, safe day. Thank you.
Couple closing comments. Again, Branch 10 resources will continue to be supported out of the Sonoma base camp. The unassigned resources will be over to my left with Dan Brown. Next planning meeting is at 1600 hours today. Next operational briefing at 0700. For Team 2 Command and General Staff, there will be a C&G meeting in this room at 7:30. Branch and division breakouts are still along the wall, starting with branch 20 to my left, moving to branch 40 to my right, with fire suppression repair in the far left corner. With that,